Hello and welcome to Hawksong Weaving. I'm a chronically ill and disabled weaver that works exclusively with thrifted and secondhand yarn, and today I'll be talking about how I process and handle a windfall of yarn. I hope you enjoy. Life takes odd turns, but even tattered and worn yarn still has value. Tired joints and health flares don't have to stop the journey. Welcome to Hawksong Weaving, where all our paths are a little bit warped. Before I get into this video fully, I wanted to give a content warning for happy stimming and some education for folks who might not be familiar with stimming in general. I put this content warning because some folks stim empathetically and may not be in a place where it's safe to stim, or may, for personal reasons, not want to see stimming, and I want to respect that. I'm autistic and in the process of unmasking, but when I was needed to be higher masking, seeing other people stim made me really nervous because I was worried for them. For those unaware, stimming is short for self-stimulatory behavior. Stimming is a necessary self-regulation method that autistic and many other neurodivergent people use. I repeat, it is necessary. Stimming can be needed for happy emotions, stress, sensory overload, and everything in between. If you're curious about stimming, I recommend reading Unmasking Autism by Devon or the #ActuallyAutistic Guide to Advocacy, written by Jennifer Brunton and Jenna Gensic. Fun fact, Jennifer Brunton was my philosophy professor in college. She's a delight. Shout out to Dr. Brunton. Now back to the yarn. I was gifted 3 boxes stuffed to the brim of naturally hand-dyed yarn by my partner's cousin. My partner's extended family has been informed that I'm taking donations and have been de-stashing their stuff to me. This includes another cousin that has been sending me loads of vintage and handmade buttons. I'll tag her Insta below. That group also has a first dibs group chat with anything I weave or create with these donations, and I've lost count of how many scarves and shawls have been purchased. If you're in Arizona, look up Patty West. She teaches natural hand-dyeing methods and creates utterly gorgeous yarn, as seen here. Last I knew, she was working on a dye-mobile and looking to take her classes around the country. Northampton will hopefully be one of her spots because I really want to collaborate on an upcycled fiber class. So when I get a windfall of yarn like this, there are a few key steps. First, I unpack and squee over the yarn with much happy stimming in the form of vocalizations and hand flapping. This entire process involves shooing away the fine felines of Hawksong weaving repeatedly. Thankfully, they can be pretty easily appeased with the offerings of a box. Second, I'll go through the yarn and sort it into 2 groups. Group A being yarn that's already balled up, and Group B being yarn that's still skeined and needs to be put on the yarn swift and then balled up. The third step is getting the balled yarn tucked in. I prefer using balled yarn for warping, as I have a yellow vintage stoneware mixing bowl, featured here, that I use as my yarn bowl while warping, and getting yarn on my shuttle. Having it in a ball helps prevent drag and allows me to see how much I have left, and sorting balls for color coordination. So in order for the balls not to unravel all over the place during the next sorting stage, I'll tuck the yarn under itself so that it stays nice and secure. Before I get too far into this, I'd like to thank you for watching. As with everything about how I make content, take what works and leave the rest. Not everything is going to apply or be helpful to everyone, and that's okay. If you'd like to support my work, some free ways to do that are to like, subscribe or follow, and share. This applies to other small artists as well. It's a great way to let the social media algorithms know that this is content worth watching and engaging with. If you'd like to support me financially, per viewer request, there's a Buy Me a Coffee linked below, along with the link to the Hoksung Weaving Square site, where you can purchase unique woven products. For the fourth step, I'll get the yarn still in skeins onto the yarn swift and go balls to the wall. It spins the yarn right around, baby, right around. I apologize for my bad singing. This bit for me is both a lot of fun, and it lets me see if there are any tie points in the yarn that require it to be balled in separate balls. In the fifth step, I'll go through the different colors, see what works best with each yarn, and organize them into projects. I only do this when I have a lot of the same type of yarn, so it's not something that I do frequently. Given that I've recently been accepted to the Amherst Mill District local art gallery, this windfall is primarily going to go towards scrappy shawls, with the leftovers getting turned into scarves. For this windfall, I have planned a shawl of primarily pinks, a shawl of dusky blues and purples, a shawl of gold and orange tones, and an especially scrappy earth tone shawl. I got ahead of myself in regards to filming and started a cool and earth tone shawl with the tan eucalyptus dyed yarn as the primary weft to bring the whole thing together. I'll be doing a full video on that process next week. This has turned out to be a shorter video than usual. I hope that this video was helpful, or at least entertaining. I'm so glad for the odd turn that your path took that brought you here. Thank you for spending time with me at Hoksung Weaving, where we're all a bit warped, and I hope that you have a truly excellent week. I know, honey. I know.